The Weed of the Week is sponsored by the Enlist Weed Control System from Dow AgroSciences, a new herbicide and trait system that will build on glyphosate.
Farming isn't just in the land, it's in you. Take control of weeds like never before. Enlist builds on the Roundup Ready system, combining proven control of a new 2,4-D and glyphosate in Enlist Duo herbicide. Protect what matters without changing the way you farm. Talk to your seed or crop protection supplier today.
Our weed of the week is Johnsongrass, but not just any Johnsongrass. This Johnsongrass we're talking about is Roundup resistant and ALS resistant.
All right, so what's left?
Right.
That's what a lot of farmers are asking across the country. I hope you're not one of them, but yeah, Johnsongrass is considered one of the 10 worst weeds in the entire world. And you think about just controlling something that Roundup doesn't kill and it's a perennial, that's pretty scary to me. And then if the ALS family doesn't work, your options just start to get a little more limited as to what's going to actually do a good job. So the big key with Johnsongrass is not to let it spread, not to let it go to seed, to try to kill it when it's in the seedling stage, because in the seedling stage, there are actually some products that do a decent job.
Yeah, and this weed is especially tough because it can really take a lot of your yield, and it also can be poisonous to cattle and to horses.
Well, if you get an early frost or you have an extreme drought, you can't let cattle and horses graze on any Johnsongrass because it contains enough hydrogen cyanide to actually kill cattle and horses. Now, that's a serious weed.
Right. So let's talk about control methods. In soybeans, it's a little bit easier than in the grass crops because we've got Treflan, Sonalan, and Prowl. So you use those things down at the full labeled rate and then follow post-emerge with one of the grass killers. There are plenty of them available like Arrow, SelectMax, and a number of others.
Well, and Pursuit and Raptor also have some activity on Johnsongrass, so if you incorporate them into your broadleaf control program, that could give you a little added boost as well. In wheat, you know, when we look at wheat, we don't have the big Johnsongrass issue all the time, but we would start off with Prepare as a pre-emerge herbicide.
Well, that's ALS. If you've got ALS-resistant Johnsongrass, then you're going to want to use Zidua on the pre-side. Zidua is in the same chemical family as Harness, Surpass, Outlook, and Dual.
And then post-emerge Axial Discover. While not great, at least on the seedling Johnsongrass, they can hold that back.
Okay, going to corn, Balance Flex is probably the best option. Harness, Surpass, Outlook, Dual, Zidua, they all have some suppression, just like the Balance Flex. Suppression only, that's it. Post-emerge, it gets really challenging because we've got Roundup, we have Accent, we have Beacon, but if the weed is resistant to Roundup and it's resistant to the ALS products like Accent and Beacon, then all you're left with really is Liberty on Liberty Link corn.
Yeah, and if you've got Liberty Link crops, Liberty does a nice job on seedling Johnsongrass. And that's why I say, once you see any Johnsongrass out there at all, you've got to wipe it out fast and stay after it until you get every last plant, or you're going to have some big problems.
And if nothing else in a burn down, just use Gramoxone. You probably have to use it multiple times in a burn down, not in crop, but in a burn down. So if Roundup isn't working for you, I'd try Gramoxone. That'll at least burn it to the ground.
Well, our weed of the week, Johnsongrass is considered one of the 10 worst weeds in the world. Don't let it get a foothold on your farm.
Well, that's it for our weed of the week, but stay tuned. Iron Talk is coming up next.